Yeah, this is my first time. It's my first time in Australia, and it's awesome. I have a job. I get to travel now. My first job before I did this, I worked at KFC. Yeah, thank you. I worked at KFC for 3 weeks, which is the longest anyone has ever worked at a KFC. I have a pension, and what you're supposed to do when someone walks into a KFC is say, "Can I help you?" The KFC that I worked at was in New York City's Penn Station, and I worked the 1 a.m. to 8 a.m. shift. At 1 o'clock in the morning in a fast food restaurant in a train station, "Can I help you?" is not good customer service. It's a promise you can't keep. This woman came in once, and she was at least 350 pounds. And she, by the way, I'm sorry, I know you guys use kilograms. She was like a bazillion kilograms. Or it's harder in the UK, because there they use like, that's right, there they use stones. So it had to be like, this woman came in, she was 4 boulders. And she gets to the front, and by the way, I didn't mind people who were unhappy who came into KFC. It's part of the job. I preferred that to people who pretended it was a real restaurant. People who would come in with the same expression, they're like, And they'd say things like, "What's the healthiest thing on the menu?" And I'd be like, "Leaving, that's the healthiest thing." This woman came in once, enormous, this lady. And like, it's unhappy, but I'm used to unhappy people. I preferred them. But this one, she gets to the counter, and I said, "Can I help you?" She went, "I don't know, can you?" I was like, yeah, of course, we have chicken. And I was like, "What would you like to eat?" And she went, "I don't know!" And I was like, "Well, what are you feeling?" Which is also the wrong question. Because she goes, "Well, I'm tired, and I'm homesick, and I miss my family. What do you think I should get, you little asshole?" And because I was like 17, and I had no other training and no other options, I was like, "If you miss your family, we have a family bucket you can get." I miss working at KFC a tiny bit. I miss the face-to-face. I cared about my customers. I treat my customers like I treat my ladies. They always come first. Or leave disappointed holding a bag of chicken. And and it's weird because sometimes I get crappy customer service and I don't understand, because like, all of us have done bad jobs, and sometimes you meet an unhappy person. Like, I got into a fight this summer in a vegan cupcake shop in East London. I walked in, I was really sweaty. I'd been jogging. It was summer, and I said to the guy behind the counter, I said, "Could I have a glass of tap water, please?" And he said, "We only sell cupcakes." And I said, "My middle name is David." And he said, "What?" And I said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I thought we were taking turns saying things that aren't relevant to the things that come before them." So I'm like, "I'll buy a cupcake, but I'd like a free glass of tap water." And the guy said, "We only sell cupcakes. That's our philosophy." I was like, "I studied philosophy in college. No one ever mentioned cupcakes." The guy said, "We only sell cupcakes. Unless it's a cupcake or part of a cupcake." He explains they sell the top and the bottom of the cupcake individually, or the frosting as a shot. It's one of these places. Goes, "We only sell cupcakes. Unless it's a cupcake or part of a cupcake or a cupcake product, I can't help you." And he looks down like the conversation's done. The conversation's not done. I was like, "Excuse me, mate. What goes into a cupcake?" And the guy's like, "What?" I said, "What are the ingredients in a vegan cupcake?" when you can't use milk? And the guy said, sugar. And I said, what else? And the guy said, flour. And I said, what else? And the guy looked at me, and after a few seconds, he just went, cupcake. Have you ever been in a situation and you feel yourself crossing the line from victim to lunatic? I'm leaning against the counter in a vegan cupcake place in London, and I'm screaming at someone, I'm not leaving here until I get a glass of tap water. And the manager comes out. He's like, is there a problem? Like, you bet your butt there's a problem. Your employee. And he cuts me off and he goes, that's not an employee. And I was like, he doesn't work here? And he goes, he works here. We just don't call them employees. And then I was angry about a whole new thing. And I did that thing where you start talking so low because you cannot believe what the fuck is happening right in front of your face. I was like, what do you call them? Muffin artists or some shit like that? And the guy said, sir, that's a brand ambassador. And we don't have any water, so I suggest you. And I said, you don't have any water? He goes, no. I said, you only sell cupcakes? He said, we only have cupcakes. And I said really calmly, I'll light this whole place on fire and watch you try to put it out with just cupcake. Guys, thank you so much for having me. Enjoy the rest of the festival. I'm Alex Edelman.
Ladies and gentlemen, Alex Edelman.
Wow! All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming. This is gonna be fun. My name's Alex. I'm from Boston. Woo. I'm from Boston. I go home every year for Thanksgiving. I'm really looking forward to it this year. Last year was weird because last Thanksgiving I came out to my family. I'm not gay. I just thought it would be hilarious. I have an uncle who doesn't like gay people, and because of that, I've actually come out of the closet on Thanksgiving every Thanksgiving for the last 4 years. And they say that coming out is like the hardest thing that a young person can do, and it is, but it gets easier every single year. Here's how I do it. I stand up with a glass of water and a knife, like I'm giving a toast at a wedding. And I go, excuse me, everyone. I have an announcement to make. And then my uncle goes, oh, for Christ's sake, again! And I release the doves. I do my musical number. I throw the glitter. It's part of the meal now. Do you know what I mean? It's part of Thanksgiving. It's part of the ritual of Thanksgiving. It's part of the, people expect it. Like the turkey comes out, the potatoes come out, I come out. And I thought about not doing it this year because my grandfather came to Thanksgiving for the first time in a decade, and no one has told him about my little joke because he's 88 and he doesn't do surprises. Do you know how some older folks just do not do surprise? Like, my grandfather hates surprises. It's not even like an Oprah thing. He's always had surprises. And it goes back to, like, the first time he was surprised. He was 16, and he was asleep on this boat in Pearl Harbor. And since then... he doesn't like surprises or sushi, and we leave him alone. And I thought about not doing it, but as soon as it was announced on the family WhatsApp that he was coming, all of my cousins texted like, "Are you gonna do it this year?" And I'm like, "You bet your butt I'm gonna do it this year." And my brother was like, "Backup dancers?" I was like, "Not this year. Just me." If you want to know how it went down, here's how it went down. We're all sat around the table. It's me, my family, my grandfather, and my best friend from college, Michael. He had nowhere to go this year for Thanksgiving, so I invited him. And as I stand up with a glass of water and the knife, I realize he has no idea what's about to happen. And the look on his face is pure confusion. But I'm on a mission, so I'm like, "Excuse me, everyone. Excuse me, everyone." My uncle's head drops. "Excuse me, everyone. I have an announcement. Michael and I have an announcement to make." And everyone looks at my grandfather. Everyone, except for Michael, who's excused himself to make a phone call real quick. Everyone looks at my grandfather, and my grandfather crosses his arms, and he looks around the table, and real loud he just goes, "I've known since he was 9 years old."